Function calling matters because Claude becomes production software only when intent touches real systems. The model must retrieve customers, validate invoices, and update records reliably. It needs to call internal services and return predictable artifacts without improvising. Tool use turns conversation into controlled execution. Claude selects a capability and emits structured instructions. Your application or Anthropic infrastructure performs the operation. All operations happen behind a governed boundary. Engineers can inspect. This is the Claude platform. Plain prompts aren't enough for production use. A prompt can explain an invoice policy, but it can't safely charge a card. It can't fetch a customer record, can't verify all required parameters exist. Chat style flows break when answers depend on live state. They fail when permissions are needed. Retries must be handled properly. Exact JSON format matters. Auditability is essential. Error handling can't be ignored. Reliability begins when language stops pretending to be an API. That gap is where bugs turn into incidents. The bottleneck isn't model intelligence, it's interface ambiguity. A vague tool name causes confusion. Loose schema leads to unpredictable outcomes. Overloaded permissions create hidden risks. Noisy responses generate unnecessary branching. Claude might pick the wrong capability. It could infer missing values incorrectly. Irrelevant fields flood the context. Production failures start subtly. They begin with tiny, unspoken contracts. No one made them explicit. No one tested them. No one owned them. Design tools as product surfaces, not helper functions. A Claude tool definition includes a name, description, and input schema. Tool choice determines if Claude can decide, must call, or must avoid tools. The app becomes a governed operating layer. It's not just a prompt wrapper with fragile shortcuts. Claude platform, the production loop, is simple but unforgiving. User intent enters the model. Claude emits tool use. The application executes with business policy. It returns tool recent for Claude to continue. For client tools, response includes stop rottenness, tool use. It also contains content blocks with ID, name, and input. Your runtime owns execution, validation, logging. It handles rollback, observability, and failure recovery. Nothing critical should happen off stage. Reliable parameters need friction by design. Use enums for constrained choice options. Require fields for non-negotiable inputs. Use stable IDs instead of display names. Include input examples for nested payloads. Add input examples for format-sensitive data. Set strict, true when schema correctness matters. Strict tool use ensures JSON schema compliance. This reduces type mismatches and missing fields. It prevents retries and silent production drift. It avoids downstream chaos in your system. Safe permissions make tool calling both powerful and deployable. Separate read tools from write tools clearly. Require confirmation before irreversible actions. Scope each tool to the smallest useful business operation. A customer lookup should not update billing information. An invoice creator should not process refunds. Least privilege is not security theater. It's essential agent design for real organizations. Tool results are part of the threat model. Results from websites may contain hostile instructions. Uploaded files can include misleading data. Emails and third-party APIs are also untrusted sources. Keep all untrusted content inside tool resets blocks. Never place untrusted content in system prompts. Always validate tool outputs before sending them back. Let the model reason over facts it retrieved. Do not inherit instructions from unrequested content. Predictable outputs come from response shaping. Return only the fields Claude needs next. Include semantic IDs, status, and normalized totals. Add validation errors and human-facing summaries. Avoid dumping raw database rows. Compact verdict is often better. Extra fields distract attention. They consume tokens and increase latency. They also make tool calls more fragile under load. Complex workflows require orchestration, not endless round trips between model and tools. In Anthropic's programmatic tool calling pattern, Claude writes code to call multiple tools. It transforms intermediate results along the way, then sends only the final answer back into context. Took usage dropped from 588 to 27,297. That's a 37% reduction on complex research tasks. Benchmark accuracy improved as well. Execution control became more precise. Measure function calls like production infrastructure, track tool selection accuracy and schema validation failures, monitor permission denials and retry rates, measure latency per tool and token cost per workflow, track user correction rate across all interactions. The goal isn't just that Claude calls functions, it's proving the system calls the right function with the correct arguments and proper authority every single time. Dashboards serve as the feedback loop for safer and more reliable autonomy. The future of Claude apps is not bigger prompts, it's smaller, sharper interfaces between reasoning and action. Teams that define tools as contracts will ship agents. These agents behave like dependable operators. They ask when inputs are missing. They act only within permission. They recover from tool failure. They return predictable artifacts. They leave an audit trail humans can trust. When real money moves, the interface becomes the safety system